Hi, I'm Justin,
And I'm Mitch.
and this is Nerd Forge's Worlds Collide. This is episode 1, and we're featuring Venom today. So, for those who don't know, Venom movie came out late 2018. Released on DVD, I believe, was October 5th.
No, it came out in theaters October 5th.
That was it.
Went to theaters on it went on to Blu-ray December 18th, just 2 months later.
Okay, so yeah, featuring Tom Hardy, great actor, right?
Yeah.
I like the movie.
Yeah.
Hard to do a standalone villain movie.
Especially a movie of a character whose origin and everything about him is tied to Spider-Man, and the movie will have nothing to do with Spider-Man. So, for anybody who hasn't seen it, who's been avoiding to see it because of that fact, it is a lot better than it should have been. It's actually half decently good.
Yeah.
It's not amazing or anything like that, but it's good.
It's got some cool effects. You know, Venom alone, just the symbiote, him attaching, and just the powers and skills.
Yeah. The conversations he has with the symbiote, the relationship he has with the symbiote. So let's just dive right in talking about the movie.
Absolutely.
So, an intrinsic part of Venom is. I guess before we start talking about it, we should talk about Venom's origin a little bit.
Probably where did it start off? Who is Venom? Why is Venom? What is Venom?
There's a lot of different origins of Venom. The most popular origin of Venom, the one that most people know, because a lot of people, they got into Spider-Man from the 90s cartoon. Yeah. So a lot of people know the origin of Captain Jameson. So J. Jonah Jameson's son goes into space, comes back, and when he comes back to Earth, the symbiote is attached to the shuttle, and then that's how the symbiote got on Earth.
Re-entry into...
And then goes on Spider-Man, and then blah blah, and then go from there. In the actual comics, though, this is one that I've preached to many people. His actual origin, the symbiote's origin, is actually from a very convoluted story called The Secret Wars. And it doesn't surprise me that they don't actually do this in any of the cartoons or any of the movies, because there'd be, like, imagine you'd have to do the past 11 years worth of movieverse for Spider-Man, just to lead up to the Secret Wars, just to lead up for introduction to the symbiote and Venom. Because that's pretty much what Secret Wars is. Secret Wars is...
Go away.
Go away. You grumpy cat. He hissed at us.
He did.
Alright, so Secret Wars is an event where a being called a Beyonder goes through and grabs all the superheroes and all the supervillains, and he brings them onto this planet and makes them fight each other.
Battle Royale.
Yeah. This Beyonder is a being who is an entire galaxy embodied in a being, just to show how powerful he is.
Just ridiculous. Now, I think we touched base on the Beyonder in a previous episode of Doctor Doom.
Yes. Yes, because there was during the Secret Wars, Doctor Doom actually stole the Beyonder's powers.
Yes, and that was what we discussed. I shouldn't say previous episode. I should say a past
show.
In the past.
Yes.
In the past. Discussion on Doctor Doom, we brought up the Beyonder.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Beyonders did this whole entire Secret Wars. During the Secret Wars, Spider-Man's suit got ripped, and he needed to fix it. And I forgot who it was.
You said Wolverine?
I think it was Wolverine.
Yeah.
But it might have been somebody else. I'm pretty sure it was Wolverine, though. Told Spider-Man of a machine that he found that fixed his costume.
Well, with, blades like that coming out, I'm sure you rip your suit every now and again.
Oh, yeah. Well, consider the fact that all of Wolverine's villains are knife-based.
Yeah. Like Sabretooth, basically claw knives, pretty much.
Lady Deathstrike.
Yeah.
You got the Cyborg Wolverine.
I was going to say him, yeah.
Yeah, a lot
pretty
of
much everyone's like a mimic of him in some shape or way.
Form, yeah. But anyways, so Spider-Man's costume got ripped, and he heard about this machine that'll fix his costume. He goes and finds this machine, or so he thinks he finds a machine, but it's actually a machine. It's a machine that's holding the symbiote, and the symbiote goes on to Spider-Man, giving him the black costume. He didn't question it. He just had this awesome looking black costume that just formed itself around him, that just fixes itself automatically, and makes its own webbing.
He's like, cool, new skin, all right.
Yeah. So the rest of the Secret Wars wearing this suit, goes back to Earth now wearing this suit, and that's how the Black Spider-Man, that's how the symbiote came to Earth. That's the actual comic book origin of the symbiote.
So he originally came to Earth riding on Spider-Man.
Yes.
Not whoever Venom is.
That's right. Now, there's been a retcon to this.
Well, before we do the retcon,
yes,
play that out. I want to know how the timeline goes.
Okay.
So he gets back to Earth, and Spider-Man's got the black suit,
yes,
which is also the symbiote. At what point does he disengage from the symbiote, and does it then find Venom?
So
who and is Eddie?
Yes,
still Venom at that point. Eddie Brock.
Well, so following the timeline.
Yeah.
So, and the rest of it is pretty much depicted pretty well in like the 90s cartoon and other cartoons as well. It's depicted pretty well, especially in the 90s cartoon, actually.
Okay.
So, the suit, he finds that he really likes the suit and enhances some of his powers. But as he's using the suit, he's realizing that the suit's alive, and the suit is actually trying to bond with him, trying to take over. And he went to go see the Fantastic Four, and Reed Richards is the one who figured out that it's actually sentient. It's actually a symbiote.
It's got a mind of its own.
That's trying to take over your body. And Reed Richards is the one who found out its weakness is sonics.
So through sound, he's able to separate the two.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Because the other weakness is fire.
That's right.
Okay.
So, so the classic scene that they've done in Spider-Man 3, they've done in
the Bell Tower.
The Bell Tower is a classic scene. That is
ring, ring, and Venom starts bouncing off the walls. He's going all crazy, and he's disengaging from Eddie, or is it Spider-Man at this point?
Yeah, He goes to the Bell Tower trying to get rid of the symbiote suit.
Okay.
And when he finally disengages from gets the symbiote suit off, this is where the symbiote suit finds Eddie Brock. Now,
right.
Now, simultaneously during these events, Eddie Brock was a news reporter. I don't remember if it was for Daily Bugle or if it was for a rival.
I think it was a rival
news.
And then he won the movie anyway, and then he was part of the same company.
Yeah.
That Peter worked for.
I mean, like in Spider-Man 3, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I know in that one, he was part of the same workforce. Peter was on there.
And that, once again, Spider-Man 3, much to all the trash that people's giving it, was pretty faithful to a lot of it. So, Eddie Brock was a photographer and a news reporter. And there was a serial killer called the Sin Eater. And Eddie Brock thought he found out who the Sin Eater was. So he posted this whole entire article on who the Sin Eater is. And then Spider-Man finds the real Sin Eater, brings him into justice, and exposing that the guy that Eddie had pinned as the Sin Eater was wrong. So Eddie posted false information and he ended up losing his job. He lost his job because of it. Yeah, I don't know if he was convicted or not, but still, his reputation was tarnished. He got fired from the news, from being a.
So then he had a vendetta.
Yes, but that's part of it.
Okay.
So after that, he got depressed and angry. His wife or girlfriend, him and her, they broke up. She left him.
Okay. So everything's just falling apart.
And then he finds out he has cancer.
Oh God. Okay. So there's one on another.
Yeah.
He's just having a bad day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he just feels like it's all because of Spider-Man. Spider-Man ruined his life.
Okay.
And the symbiote feels rejected from Spider-Man.
So they both have a hate-on for Spider-Man. So naturally, they just magnetize to each other.
That's right. And they became Venom because they
bond.
Venom to Spider-Man.
Yes, they are the ones who now are like, let's go get them.
Yes. So when they were first bonded together, another thing that the 90s cartoon did very well was the whole entire Eddie Brock as Venom would first test out what are his abilities.
Yeah.
So he would actually sneak up behind Peter Parker and like push him in front of a train. And just to see just to prove that he doesn't actually trigger Spider-Man's spider senses.
Oh.
And he was using different, and he would also discover like what are the limitations of the costume to the symbiote to mimic other costumes to make himself look like other people.
It does have a lot of different. Okay, so what? Before we go into that, why don't we
Yes.
touch base on some of Venom's the whole list of abilities?
Okay.
Because disguising and kind of shapeshifting and changing.
Yes.
What else?
Okay, so yeah, the symbiote can make itself look like anything I want, any piece of clothing I want. You could even do limited shape shifting as well. It can make you appear differently
While it's attached to Eddie, so he
Yes.
can. Now, does it change like his physical structure? Like, could it change him into like an inanimate object?
No,
Or is it person to person?
just person to person. Even then,
not an animal or anything like that.
exactly. And
Okay.
I don't think it actually changes his form, but like I think it'll change like his hair color, skin color, kind of thing.
Okay.
So very limited shape shifting, but
it's more of disguise.
That's
or
right.
Illusion, kind of.
that's right.
Okay.
It allows him to blend into crowds. Allows
Yeah.
him to. So it's really a function of camouflage. It even has the ability of camouflage. So
That's sweet.
it doesn't make Venom invisible, but it does make
He's in a
him.
dark alley. He's gonna be dark. Like
That's
know,
right.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. He could blend into like a chameleon. He could blend into his surroundings.
Okay.
All right.
So
So
he's
that's
got the camouflage / disguising,
Yes.
manipulation, adaptability.
yeah. He's got all the Spider-Man's powers except for the
He's stronger.
yeah. He's stronger than Spider-Man. He makes his own webbings. He can stick
His
to
own
walls.
cartridges.
No, not in cartridges. Just web comes out of his suit.
Oh.
So there's no running out of
So that's
webbing.
2 up on Spidey.
Yes.
Strength, and he doesn't have to reload his cartridge.
He's faster than Spider-Man.
3. Okay, so
He's got claws. He's got his teeth.
he has more weaponry essentially.
Yeah. He
And you already said that
he can stick to walls.
Spider-Man's Spidey senses does not trigger by Venom.
Exactly.
So Venom can actually get the jump on Spidey.
That's right.
Wow.
And
That's like one of Spider-Man's like ultimate things.
that's what makes him. That's
so
what
it makes him Spider-Man.
And that's what makes him one of the more powerful superheroes. Is the fact that the more resilient superheroes because
Yeah.
he's very difficult to kill.
He's got that uncanny reflex dodge, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
quick on his feet.
Yeah. So Venom bypasses that. His suit could extend his reach. So
In the sense that the symbiote can extend, right?
that's right.
Okay.
Create tendrils.
Yeah.
He could even
Blades, weapons,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that. Okay.
Yeah, he could even suffocate you with the
Oh,
symbiote.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a wet blanket.
Yeah.
That's a wet blanket.
Yeah. Like there was one issue I had where Venom had Spider-Man completely wrapped up in a symbiote suit. So Spider-Man couldn't get up because he's not stronger than the symbiote, and he started to cover his face with the symbiote, and so he can't breathe.
Spider's just like, no.
Yeah.
No.
So oftentimes, like Venom could have killed Spider-Man a bunch of times.
But I think he likes to beat him up.
He wanted to toy with him.
Yeah.
He wanted
just
him
ends
to
him.
suffer.
He doesn't get to keep playing with his toy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a being of vengeance.
Yeah.
And if he just outright killed Spider-Man, well, his vengeance is done.
Yeah, basically.
So,
Well, it's kind of like the whole Batman Joker thing.
yeah,
Right? They need the other to serve a purpose.
sort of. Venom
Sort of.
ultimately does want Spider-Man dead. But you just want him to suffer first.
What would he do if Spider-Man died, though? He'd be bored as shit.
That's what vengeance is, though, right?
You'd be like, huh? Would he give up the symbiote?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because it's an addiction. You
But like,
become a
okay,
drug.
when he's not fucking with Spider-Man,
Yes.
is he robbing banks? Is
No.
he pulling heists? Like,
No.
that's what I mean. What would he do? Right? Because like we've stated
Protecting
earlier.
innocent.
Would you think you would?
Yeah, so...
Because I know Eddie Brock Senior, Junior, they're good guys. Because Eddie Brock Senior worked with Richard Parker, Peter's dad. Did
Sort
he?
of. No, so
Or is that the alternate?
that's the ultimate.
Haven't got there yet.
Yes.
Retcon. My
Yes. So, this is all part of the origin, but it gets much more complicated than that.
But wait, there's more.
Yes. Okay, but sticking on his powers, that's not all of it.
Oh, okay.
The symbiote,
ShamWow me.
the symbiote can see from its pores. It doesn't actually have.
Yes, he has a
eyes.
360 view essentially,
That's
where
right.
like his spider sense is always going.
That's what he can see everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why, like, a tactic Spider-Man likes to use is web his villains' eyes, so they can't see what he's about to do. Distraction.
Yeah, Spidey. That's classic Spidey.
Yeah.
Cover the eyes. I'm a dick around and
Yeah.
bother him. And he...
Doesn't work on Venom.
No.
Yeah, can't web his eyes. He has no eyes, really.
No one pair.
No.
Right?
No, like his entire body is an eye. So yeah, that's another ability of Venom.
Okay, so hard to sneak up on him.
Yes, also hard to kill him because he's only vulnerable to sonic and
Fire.
heat. So guns don't
Heat?
hurt him.
Heat?
Well, yeah, heat.
Okay, so heat and flame.
Yeah, so like microwaves will hurt him. It's not fire specifically.
Microwave him quick.
Well, yeah. Well, there's a character. Her ability is microwave heat, and her power is
so she can send it radiation.
Yeah.
Essentially. Okay. Yeah. Let me see here. What about? Oh, we have a question here. Kenny's asking, what about Carnage with Venom?
What do you mean by Carnage and Venom? Like, you want to know about their relationship?
Is this Carnage versus Venom, or when they team up? We'll get back on that.
Yeah.
As far as powers go, does he have a healing?
The
symbiote somewhat, in a sense, heals him. So, like, say, with the symbiote encasing him, is it like an armor?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, say he's fighting Spider-Man. Spider-Man's giving him, left, right, hitting him. Is Eddie feeling these blows, or is it the symbiote taking the damage?
It's the symbiote taking the damage. Venom does. Eddie is not taking any of that.
He's just on autopilot.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And so, what is he?
Okay, so like if Peter disappeared, would Venom? Oh.
What?
Okay, so say he killed Spidey.
Yeah.
Carnage. He's not really happy with Carnage.
He would go ahead and kill.
You'd go for Carnage next.
Yeah. Yeah.
You give him something to do because his grocery list is not yet finished.
Well, okay, so let's talk about his motivations.
He forgot to get the bananas.
Let's talk about his motivations. So Eddie Brock Venom is a villain per se. He's a villain in a way that he wants Spider-Man dead, and he does. Yep. He's done evil things towards Spider-Man.
Right.
Since he knows who Spider-Man is, he's gone after Aunt May. He's gone after Mary Jane. He's gone after all of his friends and family. He's done different things to mess with his head.
Fuck with his life.
Yeah. So he's done a lot of evil things, but I don't know if this is Eddie or the symbiote, but they also have this code of justice.
Honor?
No, justice.
Okay.
So they want to protect the innocent. So they want to be like, they see themselves as a hero. They see Spider-Man as a true villain. Like, Spider-Man ruined Eddie Brock's life. And Spider-Man rejected the symbiote. So
is he a villain or an enemy? Is he a true enemy?
He's an enemy, but he's not really a villain.
Right, because I don't think Venom would see him as a villain in the sense that he's
villainous
towards the world.
Well, no,
he's more enemy towards Venom.
He thinks Spider-Man is a villain. For sure.
Okay.
Like, in his mind, Spider-Man, when he captures Scorpion, he doesn't kill Scorpion. When Spider-Man captures Vulture, he doesn't kill Vulture. When Spider-Man captures even Carnage, Spider-Man captures Carnage, doesn't kill Carnage.
Okay.
They break out, they kill other people.
Spider-Man's fault. Spider-Man's to blame. Okay.
So
I get it.
In Venom's eyes, Venom's mind, Spider-Man is a bad guy.
Okay.
So he's insane. Keep that in mind. Venom is insane.
Most villains are.
Yeah, but he's really insane.
Okay.
So.
Well, we have the question here. Would that bring on the anti-Venom?
Anti-Venom is totally different.
Okay, then we'll pause that. Just we'll go there in a bit.
Yes. This might be a long episode because I know a lot about Venom. I will be talking about
anti-Venom.
Anti-Venom.
About everybody.
But especially Venom. Especially anything related to Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite
Spider-Man
character.
is his go-to.
So
there's going to be like 9 different Spider-Man episodes that we have, and you got to bear with us. Okay?
So this might be a big episode.
Powers, healing.
Yeah, so yeah, virtually healing because, like I said, he can't be hurt. Like even with Sonic's and fire, he'll heal from that. It's not like it's permanent
Yeah, it's not
damage.
like okay, okay.
And oftentimes he'll get hit by the Sonic and then he'll just run away. It's not like it's the debilitating.
Sonic's not gonna like break him or deteriorate him.
It's more
it
like
makes it so he doesn't bond. It's
That's
almost
right.
like
It's
you're
more like
heating the glue up and it's just not gonna bond. It's
That's
not
right.
sticking.
That's right. It's more like it interrupts the
Connection?
connection between Eddie and the symbiote.
Yeah, because I feel like it just wears him thin, makes him just not as effective because he's trying to stabilize as he's then, trying to then be Venom.
Yeah.
So he's fucks with him.
Yeah. So, but like when I say Venom wants to protect the innocent, like he'll kill a bank robber.
Yeah.
He'll kill. I've said before that Venom would kill a jaywalker. That's a little extreme, but you get the idea. Like he's Punisher. He's Punisher, but worse. He's more violent than the Punisher. He's more extreme than the Punisher.
And where the Punisher will be like, you're bad and I'm punishing you because you did something I probably wouldn't do, Venom would do it too.
Yeah.
So he's a hypocrite. He's the hypocrite vigilante.
Yes.
You're bad because I caught you doing it, but
Yes.
I would do it. But there's no one who can penalize me.
Yes. So, okay. And so I went on this tyrant because we started out by talking about the movie. Let's bring it back to the movie before we start continuing with more of Venom's origins.
That's fair.
So,
one question.
Yep.
Question here from KG Rose again. Will you do a Miles Morales episode?
Absolutely.
We will.
Yes.
We will come to that.
Yes.
It may not. It will probably not be our first Spider-Man because we're probably gonna have to pay homage to Peter.
Yes.
But he'll come.
Yes, we will talk about Miles Morales. Justin did one on across
Spider-Verse.
On Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Which does a lot of Miles Morales, but we will do one specifically on Miles Morales. Absolutely.
And for the Spider-Verse episode, KG Rose was actually kind enough to be my guest on that one. He kind of led the show that episode, being the big Spider-Verse fan he is.
Yes.
So thanks for that.
But yeah, so talking about the movie, this is all to explain why I didn't mind the movie, because it had nothing to do with Spider-Man. So how do you, now knowing all of that origin of Venom, how do you do a Venom movie without Spider-Man?
Fuck, it's like impossible.
Right. So
But they did it.
Yeah. So all they did is that they kept the idea that it's like Eddie Brock and the symbiote have that relationship. Eddie Brock's life went to shit in the movie, and it was all because of one guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that one guy ruined all of his life. His girlfriend left him. He lost his job. The whole 9 yards. Was he told that he got cancer in the movie? I don't remember. I've only seen the movie once.
I can't recall. I again saw it once. I was gonna watch it again. But
Yeah,
it's been a busy week. Okay?
Yeah, but yeah. So replace Spider-Man with random dude.
Dude X, who we hate. Yeah.
Yes. So, and you still have all his motivations in check. It's not Spider-Man.
And you know what? A point we made earlier about you loving how he had the inner conflict, the inner battles, the inner talks and communications with Venom.
Yes.
Now, Tom Hardy's not new to that.
Yes.
He's done that in multiple other movies he's played, such as Legend, where he's playing his own twin brother, right? So they picked an awesome actor to actually play Venom.
Yes.
So he does a really, really good job with those one-on-one combos where he's sitting there in the back of the car and he's having the talk with himself in his own head, and it's you buy into it, you believe it. You're like, yeah, this guy's fucking loony. Like, he's Venom, whatever.
Yeah.
So I like the way that they did that. They did those well, and those are the hard scenes to pull off.
Yeah. The effects were great.
Yeah.
And it looked awesome.
We really saw the extent of his power when you said he's able to extend his reach.
Yes.
He does a hell of a lot of that in the movie, where he's just powering guys to the window from like 10 feet away, and it's cool to seeing the limbs expand. And
yeah.
You see a different side of Venom than just the big brute.
Yeah. So Getting back to Venom's origins now, or more talking about his comic book story. Um, should we talk about Carnage, or are we going to do an episode on Carnage?
There's definitely going to be a standalone Carnage.
I see. Will there be? I guess there can be, but
Carnage is going to cross over into our Spider-Mans anyways.
Yes, and that's just the thing. Like Carnage, I don't think is as complicated of a character where I could fill.
I think we're going to need to do one of our Spider-Man episodes with Carnage,
maybe,
and with a Venom tie.
Maybe after the Venom Venom sequel, because there will be a Venom sequel. There's going to have Carnage
second
in that
movie. Yeah.
So maybe after when that comes out, we'll do one on
I
Carnage.
forgot Carnage is in the second one.
Yeah, with
because they showcase at the very end of the movie. It's like boom, that clip, and
with Woody Harrelson.
Oh God, it is Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. I love that.
Yeah. So
that'll be good.
Yeah.
Not
my pick for Cletus Cassidy.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Woody Harrelson can play a twisted psycho.
Yeah,
if he needs to.
Yeah,
it'll be awesome.
So okay, so I guess we can talk about Carnage, the Carnage origin a little bit.
We'll keep it quick.
Yeah.
We'll put a 5-minute cap, and then we're moving on.
Yeah. So Carnage is, all intents and purposes, the son of Venom. When Eddie Brock was in jail, the Symbiote came in and broke him out. His cellmate was Cletus Cassidy, a serial killer. It just so happens that just before the Symbiote came and broke Eddie Brock out of prison, Cletus was actually planning on killing Eddie. He had a screwdriver in hand and everything ready to kill him. And then the Symbiote showed up. He became Venom, broke out of jail, left behind a drop of the Symbiote that was actually their spawn, their son, Carnage.
Okay.
And Carnage ended up bonding with Cletus Cassidy. But the bond was more deep and actually became part of his blood.
His inner DNA is basically now fused.
There is no splitting Cletus Cassidy with Carnage.
And that was what I thought. Carnage is always Carnage.
Yes.
There's no turning on and off the Eddie Brock Venom switch where Venom can go full human.
Yes. Well, Eddie Brock's been split from the symbiote often, actually. And I'll be talking about that.
Can he willingly turn back into human form from Venom, or does he need to be split from his symbiote?
Well, the symbiote is always on him. Even when you see Eddie Brock walking around as a human being, the symbiote is his clothes.
Okay, that makes sense then. So he does have the willingness and the ability to kind of shift back and forth.
But there's no turning it off.
It'll always be there. So in the sense
he's always talking.
He's walking down the street. It's hiding here on his back under his clothes. It is his clothes.
It is his clothes.
Okay.
Yeah. All intents and purposes, he's walking around.
That's essentially the camouflage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Eddie Brock.
Whereas Cletus is he's red. He's the Red Devil through and through.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's more insane. He just doesn't give a shit.
He's a serial killer.
He just doesn't care. Yeah. He's like Joker dialed to 11. He has no want or care in the world. He just wants to kill. That's it. That's his motivation.
What's
he just
his driving
wants to
force?
kill.
Just because
he wants to see blood. He wants to see everybody die by his hand. Everybody just Thanos killing everybody like that. That would not satisfy.
No, that's not enough because Carnage didn't get to deal the killing blow.
Exactly. Carnage wants to.
He didn't get to drag it out and torture him and be like, ha ha ha.
They didn't suffer.
They didn't scream.
Suffer. They didn't cry out.
Yeah.
They didn't bleed.
Oh, who do we got here? Someone else just joined us. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Love to have you. Better late than never.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about Carnage when we do an episode on Carnage. But also to mention, it seems like every time there's a new symbiote, it's stronger than the last.
I found that too.
So Carnage is stronger than Venom, faster than Venom.
Yeah.
Also doesn't trigger Spider-Man's spider senses. So Venom is stronger than Spider-Man. Carnage is stronger than Venom.
And the next one will just be stronger and stronger and stronger.
Exactly. So let's fast forward a whole bunch now because there's a lot of story, a lot of Lots of fighting between Spider-Man and Venom. Like all of this happened like in 1980s, right?
Oh yeah, they go back and forth for another 30, 40 years here
Yeah.
now, and
Yeah.
there's tons of filler.
Yeah, so I'm not going to cover all of that, but let's talk about some different changes that's happened to Venom over the years. So, I guess I'm just going to jump right into it.
No better way.
Yeah, so there's an event in Spider-Man called One More Day, where Aunt May is dying. And Spider-Man is trying to save her. It's why it's called One More Day. He's trying to get Aunt May one more day to live.
Yeah.
So he's tried everything to save her. And I think I've talked about this before.
I believe you have.
Where he makes a deal with Mephisto.
Yes.
And resets the clock where him and Mary Jane never got married. So this whole entire reset to the Spider-Man universe did some changes to Venom as well. So in this span, Eddie Brock still became Venom. That whole thing all happened.
Okay.
They weren't very clear as to what split up Venom and Eddie Brock. So they just summed it up as one time when Spider-Man defeated Venom, they split Eddie Brock with the symbiote. And the symbiote ended up bonding with... I'm trying to think of the order of events. Okay, the order of events is the symbiote ended up being property of an organization that would just sell like different equipment from villains to other villains.
Okay.
In an auction.
Villain eBay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Villain auction.
All right.
So in this auction, this is how Matt Gargan, Scorpion, one of my personal favorite Spider-Man villains, ended up getting a hold of the symbiote.
Okay.
It became Venom.
Funny you mentioned that. Scorpion's like the one Spider-Man villain. I feel like did they even show him in the 90s cartoon?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he was one of the more major villains in the 90s cartoon.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the second episode.
He was
part of the Sinister Six.
He just like doesn't exist in my mind.
Yeah, no, they had a bunch of great episodes with Scorpion in the 90s.
I'm gonna have to do some research on Scorpion. Well, he's gonna be in the next. No, he wasn't.
No, he's
not actually.
No,
because remember they teased us.
They teased them at the end of the
Homecoming.
But the next movie is going to be Mysterio. So I don't if they're going to bring Scorpion in there with Mysterio. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing though. Oh no, because with Homecoming it was part of the Avengers timeline too.
Yes.
Ah damn. So we might have to wait for movie 3 of the
for Scorpion.
Fuckers.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah. So Matt Gargan, also known as Scorpion, ended up getting the Venom symbiote.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So he's the Venom Scorp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super strong.
You would think. So the argument is that Matt Gargan never really learned how to use his symbiote, so he was never able to use it to its full potential.
Okay.
And Matt Gargan was insane to begin with.
He's got like the anger issues and he's kind of insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So he never learned how to use a symbiote properly. Which would have been scary if he would have been able to use the symbiote like Eddie Brock did. It would have been scary because Scorpion by himself is stronger and faster than Spider-Man.
That's what I mean.
So
he's getting like ×2. He just went Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. He by all rights he should have been like way stronger.
Oh hey there! Thanks Dozer Zagashi. Thanks for hosting us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sorry, we're a little delayed in our chat.
So this is when, during the comics Civil War, Venom became part of the Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay.
And then during the Secret Invasion,
which race is that?
The Secret Invasion was when the Skrulls were.
Okay, so that's the Skrull invasion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So at the end of the Skrull invasion, Norman Osborn was a big hero of that story.
Because at the end of the Skrull invasion, basically the Avengers are gone, and you said the Thunderbolts, is that the essential villain?
Yeah, it's like
Avenger team.
It's the Marvel Suicide Squad.
The Marvel Suicide Squad. Okay. The villainous Avenger Squad.
Yes. So at the end of the Secret Wars, because the defeat of the Skrulls was accredited to Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn ended up taking over Shield, ended up becoming the head of Shield, and then
Go Hydra.
well, sort of, and then he disassembled Shield and started Hammer. Which is Hammer, not in any relation to Justin Hammer.
Okay, I was like Iron Man.
No. So he just created the organization the Hammer.
Okay.
And eventually created the Dark Avengers. This was all in a campaign for him to become a president in the United States. He wanted to
rule
rule.
Damn Lex.
Yeah. So he created Dark Avengers, and the Dark Avengers was the Dark Avengers. Spider-Man was the Matt Gargan Venom. The Hawkeye was Bullseye.
Yeah. Okay.
Their Thor was Ares.
Ares got a war, and
yeah.
you see him in Wonder Woman.
Yeah, different universe, but yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the Dark Avengers. So fast forward from that, there's a lot of back and forth in that.
Yeah.
We'll come back to Matt Gargan Venom in a second. I just wanted to fast forward a little bit on this. After those events, Matt Gargan ended up losing the symbiote.
Okay.
And they ended up bonding the symbiote to Flash Thompson. All right. So,
so that's when Flash gets it.
Yes.
Because Flash is the Peter's high school bully.
Yes. And this is all comes back to when I started talking about One More Day.
Yeah.
So One More Day happened.
These were all the changes of One More Day.
Yes.
Flash became Venom eventually.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Flash because of One More Day, Flash ended up being a war vet. He became a soldier. He went to war.
Right.
Lost his leg in the war. So when he lost his leg, he was brought in for an experimentation where they bonded the Venom symbiote to him, and he became Agent Venom.
Okay. So when we were at Heroes Comic Book Store today, that one book we picked up was, you're like, oh, no, let's not do this. This is Agent Venom.
Yes.
Okay, so that's who you're talking about.
Yes.
All right, got
Agent Venom is Flash Thompson,
who
uses the symbiote as a super soldier. Like he works for the U.S. government, and he's Venom with guns.
Fuck it, why not?
Yeah, and Flash Thompson, so he's actually got a good moral code.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Flash, he was the bully in high school, but then him and Peter became friends.
They became best friends.
Yeah.
Although after the One More Day thing, Flash completely forgot about that. Then becoming best friends never happened.
Yeah, they reset.
Yeah.
The button on that completely.
Yeah.
All right.
So
hey, Haddock House, thanks for joining us.
Hey, what's up? So
this is all in which timeline? This is the One More Day.
Yeah, after the One More Day.
Okay, after One More Day.
Yes. All right. So let's talk about Anti-Venom. Okay.
First who is Anti-Venom?
Eddie Brock.
Okay. And this is, at what point does he become Anti-Venom?
Well, let's talk about that. So before we start talking about that, I need to talk about another villain called Mr. Negative. So Mr. Negative is a more recent villain.
I don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's more recent. Like in the last 15 years, he was introduced.
So they probably haven't done nothing really with him in a lot of the
shows
and movies.
Not shows and movies, but if anybody's played the most recent Sony exclusive video game, Mr. Negative is one of the main villains.
Ah, okay.
So Mr. Negative is also Martin Lee. Martin Lee and Mr. Negative are like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Bruce Banner, and the Hulk. Yes. Mr. Lee is in charge of this charity benefit that takes on homeless people and tries to get them back on their feet.
Okay.
And Mr. Negative is a crime lord.
one runs a charity, one steals all the funds.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Martin Lee has the ability to heal people by touch. and Mr. Negative has like
Death. It's like a plus minus.
Yeah. So,
you just imagine him sitting there, slap, 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 slap.
Yeah. Well, they can't do it at the same time because Martin Lee can't and Mr. Negative can't exist at the same time.
Oh.
So they can't have the powers at the same time. So, Eddie Brock, when he was no longer with the symbiote suit is with Matt Gargan at the time.
Okay.
Eddie Brock is now dying of cancer. The symbiote was the one that was keeping him alive. Eddie Brock's now dying of cancer. Eddie Brock shows up at Martin Lee's benefit place where Aunt May also volunteers at. And Martin Lee ended up meeting Eddie Brock and cured Eddie Brock of his cancer.
Just shook his hand right there.
Yeah, just like
I feel better.
Yeah, cured him of cancer. What Eddie Brock didn't know though is that when Martin Lee cured him of cancer, it also reawoken some latent Venom symbiote cells inside of him.
So it healed and regenerated any dead DNA, essentially.
Yeah, and then after that, Matt Gargan as Venom was sent to try and find the symbiote's previous host, hoping to find Spider-Man, trying to kill Spider-Man because Spider-Man was a host of the symbiote, but the symbiote led Matt Gargan.
Oh, so this is all
Eddie
following.
Brock.
This is all following Peter coming back to Earth with the suit.
Yes.
Losing it to Eddie.
Yes.
Eddie losing it
to Matt Gargan.
Yes. Matt Gargan now finding that Eddie's regained.
Well, no, he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know that.
No, he's just
Why is he targeting Peter again at this point?
Because Norman Osborn wanted him dead. No, not Peter. Spider-Man. Nobody knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Even Norman Osborn and the symbiote suit don't know Spider-Man is Peter Parker anymore because of Doctor Strange. All right.
More questions.
So Norman Osborn, leader of the Thunderbolts, wants Spider-Man dead. So he sends Matt Gargan using the Venom symbiote to track down his previous host, Spider-Man. It led him to the homeless shelter where Eddie Brock was at, and during a conflict, when the symbiote, when Matt Gargan goes and touch Eddie, there's a reaction
to
where
the two same symbiotes.
Sort of, yeah. So the awoken cells within Eddie Brock that was healed by Martin Lee was mutated by Martin Lee and kind of took on some of Martin Lee's abilities, which it gives him the ability to heal. So when Matt Gargan Venom touched Eddie Brock, it awoken these mutated cells and it took form of anti-Venom. So anti-Venom is pretty much a negative picture of Venom. So he's where Venom is black, anti-Venom's white, kind of thing.
Okay. So where he's good, he's bad, he's good? Or he's still bad?
He's still bad-ish.
Yeah.
He's still Eddie Brock.
Blurring these lines. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So anti-Venom, his abilities are all the same thing as Venom, except he also has the ability to cleanse anybody of any impurities. So he also
a disease, a poison, something like that.
Exactly. He can even sense impurities within somebody.
Oh, you're getting sick? You got a cold coming out.
Yeah. Because of that, anti-Venom is actually venomous to Venom.
No.
So if anti-Venom touches Venom, it makes the symbiote
burn.
Yeah. It's like acid. It's not like an acidic touch.
How do you? So he just runs.
Yeah.
He's just like, I ain't fighting you.
Yeah. So there was a 3-way battle between anti-Venom, Venom, and Spider-Man because Spider-Man showed up and Eddie Brock's now got a new Venom costume on him. So he doesn't like that. So because he knows who Eddie Brock is, he knows what Eddie Brock is capable of. So 3-way battle between the three of them.
Is there a tag team or is it just everyone's beating?
Oh yeah, it's everybody beating on everybody.
A little battle royale.
Eventually, Spider-Man and Anti-Venom do team up on Matt Gargan. Matt Gargan gets away.
I was gonna say, yeah, fuck this guy. Let's just get him.
And then when Matt Gargan gets away, that's when Anti-Venom senses the impurity in Spider-Man, the radiation inside his blood, and goes and touches Spider-Man to try and cure him of his impurity, trying to cure him of the radiation in his blood, which would get rid of his spider powers.
And so he takes Spider-Man's powers?
Well, sort of. Spider-Man gets away from him, and it's like, "Don't touch me!
Don't touch me!"
Yeah. So that's anti-Venom.
Oh
That's
my god! So he's just a plague to everyone.
Yeah.
So he burns Venom because the symbiote is essentially negative.
Yes.
But Spider-Man, he just eradicates the power completely.
Yeah.
As if his power is cancer and he's chemoing it out.
That's right.
God damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's annoying.
Yeah.
I would just run. I'd be like, fuck off. Like, don't touch me.
Yeah. So that's anti-Venom. Eddie Brock's no longer anti-Venom.
Well, I was just like, how do you even fight that? Like, how did Peter even deal with that? Did he just keep running?
He's the same weaknesses, first of all. Sonics and fires.
Even if he touches them, it's just like, no powers.
Yeah.
And then I win, like, insta-win.
I think Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, ends up beating anti-Venom. I think is how that worked out.
Huh?
Yeah. But yeah. Venom, Eddie Brock's no longer anti-Venom. In current continuity, Eddie Brock's no longer anti-Venom.
Is he just Eddie Brock again?
No, he's Venom now.
Yeah.
He's back to being Venom.
Yeah. Baby, I'm back.
But yeah, so and I could talk more about that. I have been watching a lot of. I haven't been reading a lot of the more recent continuity of Venom and Spider-Man and whatnot. But I think what we just talked about is a good background of who the character is.
Yeah,
what his motivations. Yeah,
two different origins, I guess, right? Yeah. And then the retcon and the revamp with the timeline change.
Yeah.
Were there any other? What's the next big point that you wanted to touch base on?
Well, let's talk about some other media. So I like other versions of Venom. There's the ultimate. You started talking about this a little bit. So there's the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, Earth 1610, where Miles Morales is from. In this universe, so Spider-Man 3 borrows a little bit from this universe as well. No, actually, no, it doesn't. Spectacular Spider-Man, which, if anybody watching, if you haven't watched the cartoon Spectacular Spider-Man, it's only 2 seasons long. I highly recommend for you to watch Spectacular Spider-Man. It is my favorite representation of Spider-Man outside of comic books. So, that being said, in the Spectacular Spider-Man, Eddie Brock is Peter Parker's best friend.
Yep.
And they borrowed that from the Ultimate Spider-Man. From Ultimate Spider-Man, Eddie Brock is Peter Parker's best friend.
Yeah. So
they grew up together. They grew up together because Eddie Brock Sr. and Peter Parker's dad,
Richard Parker,
worked together as scientists.
Yes.
And one of those experiments was to create a substance that could cure cancer.
And that's when they came up with the Venom symbiote.
The symbiote is that experiment.
The cure for cancer.
Yeah. So that ended up getting bonded to Spider-Man. They didn't get bonded to Eddie Brock. So
even when they did that, it still went to Spider-Man first?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, did Eddie have cancer when they made this cure for cancer?
No.
Okay.
No, the cancer, Eddie Brock, that's from the main continuity.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. No, the Ultimate Venom, the Ultimate Spider-Man Venom is not as intricate.
It doesn't sound as convoluted at all. Like a lot more cut and paste. Just that's how it is.
Yeah. So he got the suit. He became Venom. There's no need for vengeance on Spider-Man. It's more if he's power hungry. Like he got the taste of power of the Venom symbiote. He doesn't want to let it go. It's an addiction.
Cool. Yeah, and he sees Spidey probably as a good guy to test his power on.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man always tries to stop him from doing bad things.
Well, like, say if Spider-Man wasn't there, though, what would Venom do? As his powerhouse, would he be robbing banks again, right? Would he be pulling over grocery stores, like mini-marts and shit? Like, no, he'd probably be...
killing people.
Beating people up, looking for a good fight.
Yeah.
Right? Spider-Man gives him that good fight.
Yeah, and Spider-Man stops him from killing people.
Mm. Yeah. Kind of holds him accountable.
Yeah. Yeah. So, talk about that a little bit, the cannibalism aspect. turns out that the symbiote actually, what it needs for sustenance is brain matter. So that's why Venom is always threatening to eat people's brains. It's actually nutrients for the symbiote.
Does he do that? He threatens to eat your brain?
Yeah, often.
I'm going to eat your brains.
Yeah, he wants to eat Spider-Man's brains all the time.
Oh, like he was threatening Spider-Man specifically.
Yeah. Or anybody that pisses him off.
You don't see him like on the side of the street with a can opener and a spoon just digging into homeless people's brains.
There is one picture of him doing
that. Let me just give him a can opener.
But yeah, well, not a can opener per se, but there's a picture out there. There is a picture of Venom out there eating brains out of an open skull.
Awesome. Awesome. We're going to find that picture. That's going to be on social media tomorrow.
Some other facts about Venom. I told you about this earlier. Todd McFarlane is credited to creating Venom.
Right? The Todd McFarlane from Spawn, obviously, right?
Yep.
And you can see the carryover. Like,
yeah. You could see his style.
I literally, that's Spawn. Throw a freaking cape on him and it's Spawn.
Well, sort of. Spawn doesn't have the...
He's got the big white eyes.
He got big white eyes, but doesn't have like the tongue and the teeth.
Okay, minus... Spawn does kind of have the tongue and teeth.
Well, his enemies do.
Oh, his enemies do. Enemies do. All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like, Violator has a whole, like...
the detachable jaw and just... Yeah. Definitely you can see where they got the baseline from, though.
Yeah.
So Todd McFarlane is the original creator of Venom.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. So, okay. Of all the different Venoms, the Anti-Venom, the, Flash Thompson Venom, Eddie Brock Venom, all the Venoms, Scorpion Venom, who's your favorite Venom?
Oh, it's Eddie, really.
The OG.
Because even like Matt Gargan, I love Matt Gargan as a character, but I like Matt Gargan as Scorpion, not as Venom.
Scorpion, okay.
Now, if Matt Gargan Venom would have been able to use the Venom symbiote to its full potential and be as strong as he had every right to be, then probably Matt Gargan
take the cake. Yeah.
But since he didn't, Venom. Like I've read stories where Venom went toe to toe with the Juggernaut. Just goes to show you how resilient and strong he is. Like he even beat up the Juggernaut.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Because the only way to put that guy down is like throw him in the ocean, really.
Yeah, even then, like Juggernaut can't breathe.
Does it?
So
well, he can't suffocate.
Well, he doesn't breathe. Yeah, he can't suffocate.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to breathe.
Yeah.
That's how Spider-Man's defeated Juggernaut once, by sinking him in the bottom of the ocean.
I remember you said that's why I said that. He sunk him in the bottom of the ocean and waited like a month for him to basically walk the bottom of the ocean to hit land to climb his ass out.
Yeah, he was he was pissed.
Beyond pissed, like beyond. I was down. I've had water in my shoes for 6 months.
Man, I get a soaker and I'm cranky.
The blisters. Oh man, the chafing of the bathing suit would be unreal.
Spectacular Spider-Man though does a really good Venom.
What is different about that one?
Well, he does the best friend thing,
but
it's more of they do a really good job. Like when Spider-Man does the bell tower thing to separate himself from the symbiote, it's not just the symbiote melts.
It's not just him crawling away.
No, they actually do have like an internal battle where they actually. The 90s Spider-Man did that too, where you see like the Spider-Man and the Venom pulling Peter Parker from one to the other, like the internal struggle.
Yeah.
And Spectacular Spider-Man, they did a really good job of that as well.
The inner conflict.
Yeah, where like the symbiote is trying to convince him, no, you want us, you need us. And
no, I don't.
And then Spider-Man, Peter Parker brings in like all his friends and family, people that love him. Like
you see the montage of all the classic, memories,
exactly.
and love affairs and interests.
It was good. It was hit the feels. So
it's always good when they hit you in the feels.
Yeah. And the second time that Spider-Man ends up fighting Venom in Spectacular Spider-Man, how he defeats him is that he tells Venom, "All right, you got me, you beat me, you want me back? I'm yours." So the symbiote rejects Eddie because really Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is its first love.
It's first love.
So it leaves.
Baby, come back.
It leaves Eddie Brock to go back to Spider-Man, but when it tries to bond back to Spider-Man, Spider-Man already has a barrier up ready to fight back the symbiote, to reject the symbiote.
in the sense of his inner resilience.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I'm ready for you. Like, I psyched you out.
Yeah, the symbiote is going into Spider-Man expecting to find darkness and despair, but when he gets there, when they start bonds to them, all it feels is love.
I'm touching the light bulb. I'm touching the light bulb. It's warm.
So when they couldn't bond to Spider-Man, they tried to go back and web them up, put them in the bag.
Yep. Well, at that point, Eddie's just Eddie, so lock them all down, and sorry, you fucked out.
So Spectacular Spider-Man was only 2 seasons long, and they were going to go a 3rd season, but that was when the Marvel Cinematic Universe started happening, and
they got busy.
And they were buying rights back, and so they had to cancel the Spectacular Spider-Man.
They had to cut costs, and maybe someday they'll return.
Maybe doubtful.
Yeah,
because when they canceled Spectacular Spider-Man, they also canceled Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Did that even get 1 season?
That got 2 seasons as well.
Oh, okay.
And then in place of Spectacular Spider-Man, we got Ultimate Spider-Man, and in place of Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, we got Avengers Assemble.
Oh.
And
those are like, nah.
They're not as good.
No, I know. I think I saw an episode or 2 of the Avengers Assemble, and I was like, this looks very childish.
Yes. Whereas Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes took a lot from the comics. Like, it was really good.
I hate it when they dumb it down.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But yeah, so I think I've talked about everything that I want to talk about.
We're going to do a quick check here through the roster and make sure that we've covered all our key points of conversation.
Yeah, so we've broke down the powers: super speed, vulnerable to fire and sound, camouflage, web spinners, wall climbing, tendrils, form weapons, extended reach, suffocate, block spider senses, anti-venom, heal ailments.
Yeah, we've done anti-venom.
Can sense ailments, toxic to original symbiotes, same powers. Main stories.
Now his greatest nemesis / villains
Spider-Man
and Carnage.
There's another group. So one of the times Venom got captured, he got put into the vault, and there was a series that I actually had this comic called Venom: The Vault. Okay. Where Venom orchestrates a breakout of the vault, which is a maximum security prison for supervillains, and Venom ended up orchestrating a mass breakout of the vault. And during this breakout, a lot of different guards and soldiers ended up dying.
Okay.
So there was this organization. The name of the organization eludes me right now, but they are ex-soldiers, ex-guards of the vault.
Then hunt down Venom.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and they use a bunch of technology from the vault and other technology that they found.
A bunch of bounty hunters, essentially.
Exactly.
Cool.
But specifically to take out Venom.
Dog the Venom hunter.
Pretty much. Venom has teamed up with Spider-Man a bunch of times against Carnage.
I was going to say, what was his most notable team up? Was it against anyone else?
Against Carnage, that's it.
Just Carnage?
Other than that, Venom's usually by himself. The only time he teams up is against Carnage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that's Eddie Brock Venom. Matt Gargan Venom was part of the Dark Avengers and Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And
part of those teams.
Agent Venom was part of the Thunderbolts as well, and he was a U.S. soldier, so he was part of the army. So there's that.
That's a big team.
Yes. Yes. We talked about the Ultimate Spider-Man Venom, which he's good. Just it's not, in my opinion, not as good as the main continuity Venom.
Stick with the original. Yeah, it's usually the best.
Yeah. Talked about a Venom movie, Spectacular Spider-Man 90s series.
Did we get a release date yet for Venom 2?
No, I don't think there's a release date for Venom 2 yet.
Hoping maybe
2020, probably.
2020, 2021?
Yeah, probably.
There's a few. There's a few. The next notable Marvel movie coming out, I think we already said, is Spider-Man Far From Home. For those of you who haven't seen the trailer,
I am stupidly excited.
Don't fucking click on it. I started watching it.
I refuse to watch it.
I got about halfway into the trailer and was like, They said a bunch of shit.
I refuse to. I watched the first trailer. I watched the first trailer. I know that Mysterio is a big villain. But that's it. I know there was a new trailer that just dropped this past week.
You don't watch that one.
I refuse to watch it.
Well, here's the thing. If you go see Endgame right now in theaters, they show this new trailer, Spider-Man Far From Home, at the end of the movie. Leave. Don't watch it.
Yeah, no. No.
Don't watch it, guys.
I don't. It's much like how I avoided all trailers for Endgame. My hype is already at its peak. I don't need trailers to increase that hype, so I don't need to watch the trailers.
Oh,
the
I'm
trailers
so
are
sold.
just going to give me spoilers, and I don't want. Spoilers.
You could write the name of the movie on a napkin and hold it up in front of a camera,
Yep.
and I'm gonna probably pay to go see it.
Take all my money.
Take all my money. Haddock, I was curious on what Venom 2 will focus on. I believe.
Scorpion.
You think so?
I don't know how.
Well, no, that was the end of Spider-Man 1, though.
And a Venom.
Was that the end of Venom?
It was the end of Venom.
No, because that was Vulture was in jail when we saw him and Scorpion.
Yes.
At the end of Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes. What was the question?
What do we think Venom 2 is going to focus on?
Scorpion.
Oh.
Not Scorpion. Carnage.
Oh, okay, I'm like, no. Carnage.
Sorry. Yeah, Carnage. Yeah, it's going to be Carnage.
Because we saw at the end of Venom 1, Cletus Cassidy as Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
So, to answer that, Haddock, yes. We think Venom 2 will be Carnage based.
Yes.
I really hope they don't do a team up. I hope they don't make that.
I hope this one's going to be rated R.
Oh.
So, the first Venom was meant to be rated R, but I think they toned back the violence so that more people could see it.
14A.
Yeah. And, it had good violence, but...
Did they bleed?
No, nobody bled. So, it wasn't rated R. And I'm okay with that. I don't think every movie needed to be rated R. And I don't think Deadpool was successful because it was rated R. Because it was rated R, made it better, but it's not what made it good.
It just let them not hold back.
That's right.
They could say the fucks. They could show the tits.
That's right. But none of that is needed.
You don't need any of that for a damn Marvel.
No. In the end,
DC movie of any kind.
In the end, what I want is a movie that understands the core of the character, the soul of the character. Yeah. That being said, the soul and heart of Carnage is death and mayhem.
I was gonna say, he doesn't have a
murder
soul or a heart.
Is killing.
He is
decapitating people's heads, impaling them. It
Vlad the Impaler is tame
compared to
Carnage. Okay,
like
Joffrey looks like a nice guy.
Like in Maximum Carnage, the very first pages, you see Cletus Cassidy being wheeled in a straitjacket, and he's singing, "Here comes the bride, all dressed in white. I wish it was red, then you'd all be dead." That's how insane he is.
Yeah, he's gonna have a nice wedding.
Yeah.
Any speculations about the plot for Venom 2? Like, how does Carnage get out from the prison we saw him in? He's singing.
Probably it's very similar to the comic. Something happens to Eddie while he's near Cletus Cassidy, and the symbiote drops its spawn. Its spawn somehow gets a hold of Cletus Cassidy, which gives him the ability to break out and start killing people.
Remind me, at the end of the movie of Venom 1, does Eddie Brock still have the symbiote?
Pretty sure he does.
Okay, so then yeah. And he's in jail with Cletus?
No, he's not in jail.
I didn't think he ended in jail.
No.
Like I said, we're going to have to rewatch this thing a little bit. Yeah. I forget how it ends.
Well, I mean, he beats the big bad guy.
And then he lives happily ever after.
Yeah, pretty much. I wasn't a fan that he gets the girl in the end. Like, that's part of who Venom is that he's supposed to be an ultimate tragic character.
But as we saw in Endgame, things that happen in one movie are about 3 seconds away from happening in the other movie.
Yeah.
So he might have just got the girl for her to get hit by a car 2 seconds into Venom 2.
Here's to hoping she gets killed in the second movie.
Yeah, I hope the girlfriend dies. You know?
Not that I don't like the character. She was good, but she needs to die to...
I want the anger. I want angry Venom.
Yeah. Cletus Cassidy needs to kill her.
That's going to piss him off.
Yeah.
That'll set for a great tone of a movie. Yeah. And guess what? Now he hates you, Cletus. Yeah. That would set the bar high, and, that would fuel a hell of a lot of emotion.
Yeah. It's hard to tell where they're going to go with the movie because Eddie Brock's not a criminal in this movie. He's like the anti-hero. He's like
the funny good guy.
He's the main focus of the movie. So unless they find a reason to put him in jail, it's going to go about a completely different way than they did in the comics. So it's going to be different.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm excited to see where they take it, how they do it. I try not to make too many predictions on a lot of the Marvel DC movies because I don't like the surprise.
There's a lot of things I can predict, but some things you can't predict because they're going to go a completely different way. Once again, as long as you get the heart of the character, I don't care. You don't need to follow the comics to a T.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you get the heart of the characters, that's what I care about.
I concur. All right. I think that sums up episode 1 here with our Venom review.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning into Worlds Collide and joining the Nerd Forge group here. If you haven't already, please follow us on Twitch, Insta. We're on Twitter and Facebook as well. And we'll have our subscriptions up and available in the next few weeks, I hope, as soon as we hit our affiliate status here. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. And have a good weekend, guys.
Cheers. Thanks for stopping by.
Take care.